Why is it so important to reopen the Ashington Blythe train line?
The business case centres around providing access to employment and jobs for people living in Bedlington and Ashington. It will help them get to Newcastle and Northumberland Park, so it will help regenerate the area, which is very badly needed.
What benefits will it have to Bedlington apart from obviously jobs?
Well, it puts Bedlington back on the map, but giving people access to work is the most important benefit. If people are working, then they're earning money, they've got more money to spend in the locality, the shops and the mini markets and everything here will see increased trade. It would help revitalise Bedlington Station as an area.
How regular will the services be and how late will they run?
Well, the current plan, this all has to be the subject of further evaluation, but we're talking about an hourly service with half hourly during the morning and evening peaks. And I'm hoping that the plan will be to run services up till midnight. So we'll fall back to hourly about 7 o'clock. But then up to midnight. So if you go for a night out in the town, you can come back by train.
Where will the stations be and how realistic will it be to rebuild the stations and at what cost?
Well, the stations will be at Northumberland Park, which is the metro interchange, and then SENRUG wants to see stations at Seckhill and Seaton Delaval, then Newton for Blythe, Bebbside, Bedlington, Ashington, and we want the line to continue on to Woodhorn. There never used to be a station at Woodhorn, but all the other places there were previously stations before the line was closed. Some of the stations are still perfectly intact. Ashington Station still has both platforms each side of the line, and it already has level access to both platforms, so there's hardly any work to do at Ashington Station. Bedlington Station, just around the corner, it's got one platform, but we'd have to put another platform in. They would be low-cost stations, they wouldn't be staffed, so they're about as cheap as stations are, but anything in terms of railway engineering is quite expensive. I don't know the exact figures split out station by station. That will be finalised at the next stage of the development.
Once the line is reopened, will that be the end of SENRUG or will there be further plans for development?
Well, it certainly won't be the end of SENRUG, because SENRUG campaigns for a number of issues in South East Northumberland. So we're campaigning for better intercity services at Morpeth, we're campaigning for increased frequency of train services at Cramlington. We want to see a north of Morpeth service, so there's a kind of a service throughout the Northumberland coast area. But in terms of the Ashington Blythe and Tyne line, it's not the end either, because once the core line is reopened, then there's then ancillary projects, which you can see on the map here. We want to then push the line on to New Bigham by the Sea. We want to see the link from Bedlington to Morpeth reopened, so that could be achieved by the trains which run from Newcastle to Morpeth carrying on through Chockington and connecting with this line at Bedlington. The tracks are already there for that. And we want to see a link to Blythe Town Centre. So that's slightly tricky. So what we're working on is getting the core line reopening first. But SENRUG has got lots of ideas as to how to develop it once that happens.
What is your reaction to the news that the Newcastle-Ashington line may be reopened when bidders to the Department of Transport have to tender to include the opening of the line to run town services across the North East?
Well, I think people are slightly confusing what the Department for Transport are saying. So Northumberland County Council are now progressing the case to reopen the Ashington Blythe and Tyne line, but the local rail franchise will be renewed from, it will be a new franchisee from 2016. And what the Department for Transport have done is they've put it in the specification for bidders so that they know there is an ongoing project by Northumberland County Council to get this line reopened. So what they have to do is work cooperatively with the council. So the Department for Transport don't want someone to take over the bid, start running services and say, what's all this about Ashington? We've never heard of that before. It's there in the franchise document, so they know all about it and they know that the project is already being progressed by the County Council, and whoever takes over the rail services will have to kind of step in exactly where the current operator has left off. But it is actually the County Council who are progressing the plan, but it's excellent news that they're working closely with the Department for Transport, and the Department for Transport have written it into the franchise specification.
In terms of the passengers, how much will it cost for people to travel on trains in proportion to other services like bus routes?
Well, if we use Morpeth as a comparison, I think the train fare from Morpeth to Newcastle is about £6.50 return, and the bus fare is about the same. So day ticket is the cheapest way of doing it. So I would expect the fares to be comparable with what you're currently paying from Morpeth. It will just be the way rail and bus fares are. And typically what we see in this area is within £1 they're the same. But the train is obviously a lot faster, and it takes a lot more people, it's a lot more comfortable. And if you're going on by train from Newcastle, then it's very easy to change at Newcastle station, whereas of course the buses don't go to Newcastle station. They drop you a mile short, and you either have to get a metro, 2 stops, or you have to walk, which is difficult if you've got luggage or buggies, young children. But the rail services will go straight into Newcastle.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.